So for us, the Great Give, like for many of you, probably was an experience of wondering if this really was going to turn out or not. You know, being the first time, it's kind of courageous to start something like this, and it's very courageous to be a part of something like this. And so we were excited, and when they asked who will do more, we're definitely going to do a lot more this year. It was kind of like sticking our big toe in and being like, you know, is the water good? And we found that it really was very good. And so we're really excited to be a part of that. What we did was no more revolutionary than the toolkit you guys have. There's three things that we really invested in. The first was social media. Year-round, that has been just something we put a lot of energy in. We have a lot of people that follow us on social media, and for the vast age range that we work with, it's been really effective. People, we emphasize celebration on it, and so I know sometimes when you have a heart for a mission, and it's something that really pulls on your heart, you want it to constantly pull on someone else's heart, but they need to see that it's something that is just worth celebrating also. So we share a lot of not just heartbreaking stories, but stories that people get very excited about. And so that's been very good for us. So social media, when the day came, we blasted it out. Involved with that is we got our staff and volunteers extremely involved. And so leading up to that, more than getting possible donors involved, we got potential word spreaders involved. So the people who already support you guys a lot, we got them really prepared to start getting the word out on that day, and so then the voice of your organization could just be multiplied over and over again. So that was the second thing, and then the third was just our newsletter. We sent out email reminders in the weeks leading up to that. But those things, again, you already know those things, and so I really wanted to touch quickly on if you know it, how does that work? And two things. The first is that you have to find your voice. And what your voice is that like heart of the message that initially got you involved. And knowing, honestly, every day I have to remind myself of why I'm doing the work that I do, because it's hard. It's not easy. And I don't wake up with this heart of gold that's like, save the children. Right? I wake up some mornings and I'm like, why do I do? Okay, this is why I do this. And that's finding your voice. That's finding the heart that you have to have. Because then what I really want to challenge you guys with, especially in marketing and fundraising, is to not lose your voice. And there's two ways you do that. One is, if you have any friends that went to a Seahawks game this year, they lost their voice. And that's because there's so many voices coming from outside the organization, inside the organization, that can people actually hear the message still. And so make sure the way you're sharing it and the way the people around you are sharing it, it's still heard. And for that, we have a year-long plan of how we're going to communicate. Because you guys can think everything's really cool, and if everything's really cool, then everything's going to get lost, because you're just going to jump from one thing to the next. So make sure that the Great Give fits into your year plan. It's not just you're moving from one thing to the next. So make sure your voice doesn't get lost because you're not being smart about where it fits into your year-long plan. We're really careful about this. The second thing is don't lose your voice by marketing for money versus marketing your mission. And what I mean by this is we've grown a lot in the last 5 years, and we've had to be very careful that we don't ever market for money. And we're very, very purposeful about this. Is once you start growing, you realize that there's more people that need to get paid, there's more this and that, and all of a sudden you have this sense of urgency as we need money. Right? And that's a part of life. But if you start marketing for money, you lose your voice. And people no longer hear you, they no longer hear the heart of your mission, they hear a desperate, I'm going to try to find that string in your heart I can pluck so you can give me money. And we're very, very purposeful about constantly asking ourselves, again, what is our voice? What's the heart of the mission? And so when you guys market for Great Give, I really encourage you to ask what honestly is the heart of your mission. And that's what people want to hear. And then when they get on board with you, then day after day, that's what you're going to share, and it's going to keep you inspired to continue doing the work that you do that is so valuable. Because you know yourself pretty well, and you're all unique and maybe a little weird like we are. And that's you, right? That's who it is that people are giving to, and they want to continue hearing you. And if you start changing by asking for money versus asking for people to be a part of your mission, it's going to go wrong real quick. So remember the mission, hold to that, and then learn to give it out. And I really encourage that year-long plan. So that's what we did. Thanks.